Axel Brodie unlocked. Axel Brodie is now obtainable through different Dimension Castle Assault event. You can unlock him by clearing floor 22. He'll be looking at every card that is level up reward and also his skills. Let's do this.
It's time to do.
He gives 2 copies of Soul of Fire for level 3 and level 18 reward. This card is really bad in my opinion. You activate it, your opponent draws 1 card, you banish 1 pyro type monster from your deck, and you inflict damage to your opponent equal to quarter the attack of the removed monster. Normally it's half of the attack, but as you know, whenever a new card comes to the game that inflicts damage, it will be halved due to the new rules. And also, if you activate this card, you cannot declare an attack this turn. Pretty bad. And we get Fire Trooper 3 times at level 7, 21 and 33. When it's summoned, you can send it to your graveyard and inflict 500 damage to your opponent. It takes your normal summon and it's just 500 damage, pretty bad again. And we have 3 copies of Volcanic Counter, level 10, 23 and 35 reward. When you take battle damage while this card is in your graveyard, you banish it from your graveyard, and if there is other fire attributes in your graveyard, you inflict damage to your opponent equal to the half of the amount you took. This is a mediocre, I think, not that bad like others. And then we get Solar Flare Dragon, which is not a great card, but 2 copies of this can make you untargetable for attacks. Not for the card effects though. You get 3 copies of it at level 14, 25 and level 40. While you control another pyro type monster, this card cannot be attacked. So let's say you have 1 of it and other pyro type monster, even this card itself is pyro type. 2 of it will say your opponent cannot attack, the other says your opponent cannot attack, so they will not be able to attack. But since card destruction is at everywhere, even banishing, so this card will not be good at all. And during each of your end phases, inflict 250 to your opponent. Again, nerfed effect damage. And we get 3 copies of Volcanic Scattershot at level 16, at level 30 and at level 38. If it's sent to your graveyard, inflict 250 to your opponent. And if it gets sent to your graveyard by the effect of a Blaze Accelerator, which is a continuous spell, one of the card that Axel Brodie plays, we have it in a very old box with his ace card in the game. Anyways, you send 2 more scatter shots from your hand or deck to your graveyard, then destroy all monsters your opponent controls. This card is great actually if you have the Blaze Accelerator. This can be played in his deck. And finally we get Volcanic Wall. Just a single copy, level 45 reward. Once per turn, you send top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, inflict 250 to your opponent for each pyro type monster sent to the graveyard by this effect. It can work well with Scattershot if you are lucky enough, probably not possible, but if you send that 3 Scattershots from your deck to the graveyard, of course, you are not gonna declare an attack during the turn you activate this effect. More than 1 copy of this will be good, I should say. This is what we have. Let's move on to his skills. Volcanic Force. Send 1 face-up 3 Blaze Accelerator you control to the graveyard and play 1 Volcanic Doomfire from your deck, hand or graveyard. This skill can only be used once per duel. This is like the normal Blaze Accelerator. Playing Volcanic Doomfire is really good. It's such a good monster, but it says from your deck, hand or graveyard, which means you already need to have Doomfire in your deck. And a must play skill if you don't have the cards, if you don't open the old box. At the beginning of the duel, add 2 Volcanic Shells, 1 Volcanic Doomfire and 1 Blaze Accelerator, and 1 3 Blaze Accelerator to your deck. In addition, you can use following effects once per duel. Can be used your next turn after you have activated Blaze Accelerator. Add 1 3 Blaze Accelerator from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Can be used during your next turn after you have activated 3 Blaze Accelerator again. Add 1 Volcanic Doomfire from your deck or graveyard to your hand. This will be a must play skill if if you don't have the cards. Reloading can be used by sending 1 or 2 fire monsters from your hand to the graveyard while you control a Blaze Accelerator card, so it doesn't have to be a pyro type fire. Choose volcanic monsters from your deck equal to the number of cards you send from your hand to the graveyard and send them to the graveyard. A skill to send fire monsters from your deck to the graveyard. Maximum firepower until the end of the turn. 1 fire pyro type monster you control gains 200 times the number of fire pyro monsters in your graveyard. A little bit of a boost. Can only be used once per turn and twice per duel. Fight on the front lines. All fire pyro type monsters you control gain 200 attack and defense. It will be activated when duel is started. Joy Wheeler, the Dark Side of Dimensions, has a skill like this, I believe, which is for warrior type monsters, similar to that. Blaze Accelerator Reserve can be used by sending 1 or 2 volcanic monsters from your hand to the grave. Choose 1 Blaze Accelerator card from your deck or graveyard equal to the number of cards you sent from your hand to the graveyard previously and add them to your hand. Usable, I guess. Blaze Accelerator Recovery, return up to 3 volcanic or Blaze Accelerator cards from your graveyard to your deck. Can be used once per duel. Like in the name, covers your cards. Can be good in the late game. Blaze Accelerator Deployment. Turn 1, Blaze Accelerator into a 3 Blaze Accelerator. Can be used once per turn and twice per duel. You can use your Blaze Accelerator first, then turn it to a 3 Blaze Accelerator and use it again, which could be good actually, and it's twice per duel. And finally we have Fire Reload. Can be used if you only have fire pyro type monsters in your hand. Return all of them to your deck and shuffle it and draw the same number of cards. So basically a reload, but for only fire pyro type monsters. Advantage is basically in normal reload skill you can only use it after turn 5 and onward. This doesn't require specific time, it can even be used during your turn 1, so a usable skill. At the very end, like I said, most of his cards are in an old box, including his ace card. I don't know will I make his deck, but I will try to. As always, thanks for watching and see you soon.